Lads, I don't believe this. And if you guys are in agreement that this is crazy, subscribe. Obviously, we're trying to hit 50K, but let's get back onto it. We are. I'm just in shock. I'm in shock. So you've got a lot of the biggest names in the entire WNBA here. You've got Aja, you've got Kelsey Plum, you've got Paige Bueckers, you've got Angel Reese, you've got Fee, you've got Cameron Brink, you've got Sabrina. So you've got a lot of the bigger names, if not the biggest names in the entire WNBA right here. And who's not there? It's Caitlin Clark. And if you guys have not seen this right here, FM cases and the WNBPA. The WNBPA. So this is 3 days old. I got sent this email today. I actually, in fairness, I did see a tweet, not including the most popular player. This is how much they hate Caitlin misspelled. Very true. Like, I don't know what exact... So one player puts people in their seats you don't include. It genuinely seems like everybody going mad about this. So this only started happening around the last day. But at the end of the day, look, the WNBPA can do whatever they want, I guess. And if this case is with the WNBPA, as far as I'm aware, players' rights are not done separately. I think the WNBPA come to an agreement, can come to like mass agreements like what they did with NBA 2K. With this saying it was an agreement with the WNBPA, knowing how the negotiations work with NBA 2K, with the players' associations and stuff, and again, I could be very wrong with this, but I don't think this is something that'll be on an individual by individual basis. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a case that the WNBPA had made an agreement with this brand and then made an agreement that they were allowed to make cases, and then the brand had to go individually, player to player to make sure their representation was okay with it. And Caitlin said no. That would be the hope, but because you can see here the WNBPA logo is there. You can see it is there. And this is from days ago. I got a message today, and I saw somebody tweet something out and about a WNBPA. The WNBPA had a product without endorsing Caitlin Clark, something along those lines. And I didn't know what the hell it was all about. I just skipped on, scrolled through, and then I got sent this email and I put two and two together. So I cannot for the life of me find the tweet. I can't find the tweet. So if somebody does remind me what that tweet is, I will pin the comment right here. And I do apologize if you were the person who tweeted that. I literally, to be fair, we all do research in the same ways. Every one of us on YouTube, we just scroll Twitter. We just doom scroll Twitter right now. It's in our jobs, we got to be a bit chronically online. But like, this is mad. Like, I think there is a legitimate shot that this situation was the WNBPA saying no, Caitlin. Saying no, Caitlin. I actually think that there is a chance. Again, what are the odds? I don't know. I'm not in these rooms. I'm not in these negotiations. But there is a possibility of this happening. Look, could this have been something Caitlin Clark opted out of? Yes. And the most favourable scenario for everyone is that Caitlin opted out of it. It doesn't make the WNBPA look bad. The WNBPA looks bad. And look, the one thing I'll always say is the WNBA, normally the players are happy to throw Caitlin's face on something if it makes them more money. And maybe this could have been the case. Again, I'm just talking in hypotheticals. I don't know what happened. And anyone quoting me as a factual thing that this was a guaranteed choice, like, I'm just spitballing hypothetical situations right now. Like, I have no idea what happened. A hypothetical is that the Cases company made a deal with the WNBPA for 8 players, and it was a straight up fee. They got their money straight up, and they were told choose 8 players. And they chose not to put Caitlin Clark in the 8 players. There is a possibility for that. Like, the WNBPA might have just gotten a flat fee. And if they got a flat fee for it, maybe they're just like, screw it. We want these cases maybe to sell. We don't just want Caitlin Clark wants to sell out and then the rest of them being there and no one buying them. If they got a flat fee. And that logic, not that it's smart logic, but it makes some sense. Like, I wouldn't put it past them doing that. But at the end of the day, look, it's It doesn't look, the optics aren't good. The optics of this aren't good. I'm not saying, again, that the WNBA have or have not done anything. WNBPA have or have not done anything. But like, there is a pattern of anything that happens with Caitlin Clark. Like, I remember it was the same journalist asked Caitlin Clark like really weird questions about like her liking Taylor Swift posts. And then the WNBPA tried to get that journalist banned because they asked Dejanay a question about it, whether or not she intentionally hit Caitlin in the eye. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I think Christine Brennan's questioning, her continual questioning was a bit accusatory, struggling to think of the word, rather than like almost accusing Dejanay of doing it intentionally, which I don't know whether she did it or not. At this stage, with at best case scenario, you can say she just doesn't care whether or not she hurts her opponent, but at the end of the day, I still think it was weird questioning by Christine Brennan, just not enough to lose her credentials. And then someone obviously asked Brittany Griner about it, and she's like, about mouthing something on the bench. She goes, I don't know. Which is the right answer to give. And then you've got WNBA media trying to take those persons' credentials away. But there are people with credentials that have called Caitlin Clark a white teenage boy. There are people with media credentials that have called Caitlin Clark the corn lady. So, I mean, it works both ways. But yeah, the WNBPA have not once taken the side of Caitlin on anything. They've not once taken the side of Caitlin on anything. There's media members that have done and said awful things to Caitlin Clark. But if there's a WNBA, if there's anything that happens and it's anti-Caitlin Clark fans, the WNBPA are the first people to speak up about it. They have been hypocrites so far over the last 2 years. So it would not surprise me if this was an intentional thing. But at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. We can all have our opinions. We can all expect biases. We can all think what we want to think when it comes to the WNBPA. We don't have to like what the Players Association's done. We don't have to. You don't have to like. You can be against that, but it's very different talking about this situation like it is a fact that they didn't have Caitlin Clark, but we don't know. What do I think is the most likely thing? In my opinion, I think they just chose not to put Caitlin Clark on them. I think they got paid a flat fee by this Case's company. We're told to nominate 8 players and they chose not to nominate Caitlin Clark. I think that's the most likely thing. I think the next most likely thing is that Caitlin Clark just said no. I think both of them are almost equal in likelihood. But at the end of the day, the optics of this don't look great. The optics don't look great. And yeah, like it is what it is. And again, if the WNBPA hadn't done and said some crazy things when it comes to stuff, Caitlin Clark adjacent stuff, this would not be as big of a deal as it is. And yeah, that is the video. Again, if someone can leave in the comment who the person tweeted out, because I think it was a creator, and I don't want to shout out a random person. I cannot find a tweet. I do not want to shout out a random person. I will pin the comment for whoever it is. So if it is you, my profuse apologies. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. Also, thank you to the guy who sent me this on DMs as well. But that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.